Hey everybody, my name's Daniel with Screenly. I'm going to show you today how we can use Zapier and Google Drive to manage the content on your screens. This is a great use case for when you have team members who are perhaps less comfortable with using the Screenly interface and they just want to use Google Drive that they have used before. Often this is a request from non-technical users. And today we're going to show you how to do that. So let's jump in. So the first step is to, within your Screenly account, make sure that you have a screen that you want to add the content to. You can get started even with your demo account with a Screenly Anywhere screen. With Screenly Anywhere, you can use your existing hardware or even a desktop browser to show your digital signage content. So right now we are pairing the Screenly Anywhere screen, and we are going to put in the pairing code. So that was A5UA, I believe. Let's double check. And then G9Z6. Okay, so G9Z6, and we are going to call this our test screen. Okay. So once we've added our Screenly Anywhere screen, just adding here, the next step is to create a Zapier account. Now, okay, you see that this screen is here. Test screen. With Zapier, they have a ton of different paid options. You can just get started with one of their free accounts to test this out or build your first version. And what we're going to want to do is click the create button and then Zaps. Okay. And here we're going to set it up. So we go to triggers, and what the trigger is going to be in this case is somebody adding content to a folder in our Google Drive. So we select Google Drive, and then in the trigger event, we click New File in Folder. Not just New File, but New File in Folder. Okay. If you're not already logged in, log into your Google Drive account, and then click the purple Continue button, and we're going to configure it. So you may have access to multiple Google Drives, the appropriate one. And within the folders, make a folder within your Google Drive called Green Files. You can name it something else. This is just a way to get started. Select that folder. Okay, you can here click only return non-deleted files and then click continue again. And then what you're going to do is you're going to test that trigger. If you don't see anything come up when you test it, that's because you probably don't have any content in that folder to start with. I suggest you would put some file in there just so it makes the whole testing process easier. So you file A and then continue with the selected record. Great. Okay, so at that point, you have the trigger. The next step is to set up the action. So we're going to click that here. Click Screenly at the top. Okay. Great. And then the event. So the action is that we want to complete a workflow, because what we're going to need to do is use content that we add to Google Drive and then actually have that not just get added, but also get added to a playlist. So we're going to click Complete Workflow. We're going to Screenly account. If you have multiple accounts, you might need to select one. So also one thing to highlight is when you are adding the Screenly account for the first time, you're going to be prompted to get a API key. And so the question, of course, is, well, where do you get that? If you go into your Screenly account, click the Settings tab on the left, and then go to Security. And then in Tokens here, you can click Show, and you'll see the best ones here. So just put in a token name, Zapier 3, for example. And then when you click Add, there will be a pop-up modal, and you can then copy the token key. When you have that, you then put it in the pop-up modal here in Zapier that asks for it. And then that's it. Now click the Continue button. Okay, so at this point now, this is where we're linking the Google Drive to Screenly. So in the file URL field, what we're going to click here is the second option, File, and then in the asset title, it's going to be called Title. We can change the duration 30 seconds. And then in this case, if you have an existing playlist that's already tied to the screen you want to manage, you can select it here, but you can also make a new playlist at the same time. So Test Anywhere Playlist. And then also we're going to select the screen as well. So you saw that we set up that screen earlier. Okay, perfect. And then we're going to click Continue, and we can test this step. Okay. All right, there you go. And now it's really important to, once you have that successful test, and then so you can look inside your Screenly account now, and you'll see we just created that screen. Now here, Test Anywhere Playlist, that was just created. You see the little created by Zapier option. This is the content that we added, and then you can see the content file here. So, and then takes a couple seconds to refresh, but it will then be on that anywhere display on that anywhere screen. That's it. What you should really make sure that it's published. If it's published, that trigger is not actually going to trigger anything. Depending on your plan, it determines how quickly they pull the files. But that's it. So essentially now a user can just go to Google Drive and add content item to that folder, and then the next thing they know, that content will then be showing on their digital signs. This is great. Like imagine, for example, at a school and the IT team sets up the digital signs, and then one of the teachers needs to update the sign for their class. Instead of having to get into the details on Screenly and the Screenly interface, the IT professional can just say, hey, this is it. I just dropped the content in this Google Drive folder and you'll be done. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.